Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Chris and this is Viking Bushcraft and Survival. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you're new, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. So it's been a really long time since I've done a video. Life has been crazy as usual. As many of you may know, if you've been here before, my wife and I had a little boy last year, and he's gonna be 1 year old in a couple months. And so between work and helping my wife with our little boy, life has been very busy. But with crazy things that are going on right now, I have a lot more time on my hands, and my wife's grandfather lets me come up and use this property. You've seen this once before when I did the camp out by the pond. This is further back on the property, a little more in the woods. And I've been to this spot before. I tried to do a video back here a few months ago, and things didn't end up going how I thought they were going to, and I only got about half a video filmed, and I didn't have a finish for it or stay as long as I had planned to, so that video never got put up. So this is the first time you're going to be seeing this area. But if you see from some of the video, you'll see over here, just off camera, I have a fire pit that I built last time that I was out here with some rocks down by this creek. So I have been to this spot before, but like I said, the video just didn't come together the way I wanted it to, so that one never got posted up. So I'm out here today. This is not an overnighter. My wife doesn't really want to stay by herself right now, so I'll be going back home this evening, but I'm out here for the afternoon. I've also got a couple new knives and a new axe and some stuff that I brought out here kind of to just put to use. I'm gonna make a little fire. It's not cool by any means today. It's upper 60s, lower 70s, so it's a little cooler back here in the shade of these woods, but still not so much for warmth, but just for the good atmosphere of a bushcraft day. I'm gonna do a little fire and use some of these tools, show you some of the stuff I've gotten, and kind of talk about a couple of the brands that I've added to my outdoor gear since the last time I've made a video. Also, this that I'm wearing, this pack is new. This is a, I believe, 60 liter pack. Great for camp out, plenty of room inside. You could do 2-3 nights easily with this. And I'll show you some of the stuff I have in here. But yeah, I'm just gonna be out here for the afternoon. Gonna do a we'll just campfire and hang out here in the woods. My wife and I live in the city where we are, and so with having to stay at home and everything, I've not gotten to get out and enjoy woods or anything like this in quite a while. So I hope you will hang in, stay here for the video, and I'll show you guys some of what I've got planned, and just enjoy a day out here in the woods. I'll catch you guys in just a minute. Alright guys, so I'm going to start with first couple new pieces of gear, or a couple new knives. I'm going to start with this one here in the leather sheath. So I've been interested in this company for quite some time. Probably heard of them. They have a lot of knives and bushcraft and outdoor gear, and the company is Condor. Condor Knife and Tool. Particularly, I've had my eye on this knife, which is the Undertaker Bowie. I've had my eye on this for quite a while, and I finally went ahead last year and got it. It runs about $89 on Amazon. For all of what you're getting here, I think that's a really fantastic price, because you get this leather sheath, belt loop, Condor insignia right here in the leather. Just really nice craftsmanship for a standard sheath included with the knife. And then getting to the knife itself, you have wooden scales here, full tang, really beefy Bowie style knife, a lot of blade here. Doesn't feel extremely heavy in the hand, not at all. I like the guard here on it that keeps your hand from slipping up on the blade at all. But it definitely has good weight in the blade to be a chopper. But like I said, it's not extremely heavy. I've brought this knife out here with me once before. So far, I am absolutely impressed with this brand and their craftsmanship and the way things arrive out of the box. Good sharp edge. It could probably be touched up just a touch, something like a leather strop, something like that, just to kind of finish the edge off. But out of the box is definitely sharp enough to use. So this is the Undertaker Bowie. This is one piece by Condor that I have really wanted to try out so far, and also from reviews I've seen online, this knife is loved by a lot of outdoorsmen and people who get it for bushcraft type uses. So really great reviews online, and so far from my use with it, which again, like I said, it is a newer knife to me, and I've been out here with it just once, so it does still have some time and use to go through before I really get the absolute feel for it. But so far, really enjoying this knife. Now remember Condor, because I'm going to come back another piece of gear here in just a minute and show you another piece by them. But before we do that, I'm going to show you the other knife I've added. So if you've been on my channel before, you'll know I really enjoy Bowie knives. Those are my favorite style of knife, hands down. So when I'm picking out blades for my camping or bushcraft ventures and stuff like that, I'm more drawn to going with the Bowie. Now there are some knives that I've got planned for the future that are not, but right now the last probably 3 or 4 I've added have been a Bowie style knife. So this is by the company Ontario Knife Works. This is the Marine Raider Bowie. I got this on Amazon for, I believe it was $55 roughly, like 54 and some change, or right at 55. Nylon sheath, MOLLE webbing on the back, so it's got a lot of uses to be able to attach to a pack or any application where you have MOLLE webbing available. It's got 2 snap closures to keep the blade, one that goes across the guard and one that goes up here across the handle. It's got the plastic insert on the inside of the sheath so that your blade is not coming into direct contact with the nylon. So nice sheath. If you want to get something more custom, Kydex or something like that, you can absolutely do that. But for an out of the box, very nice sheath. Knife itself, carbon steel. I believe, from what I remember when I ordered it, this is the 1065 version. There is a 1075, so you have a couple different versions out there that you might run across, but I believe from what I remember when I ordered it, this is the 1065. Creighton handle. It's got kind of a rubberized feel to it, very secure in the hand, great guard, lanyard hole down here. But the handle, one thing I really love about this handle is it's got a good grip to it. The Creighton material is very grippy, so there's not a lot of fear of your hands sliding around on this. Plus, you've also got this stop down here to keep the end of your palm from sliding down too far. You got the guard to keep from going up on the blade. It's got a little bit of an area back here before the blade begins where you can choke up on it if you're doing like feather sticking or anything like that close up. So those are the 2 knives. Just wanted to show those real quick. I've got another piece from Condor. So when I got the Bowie, I went ahead and got this axe that I've been looking at, and this is their Cloudburst. It comes with a leather sheath and a collar right here to protect your handle from overstrike. So just right out of the box, you've got 2 pieces, and this is already installed when you buy it. This comes attached straight out of the box. Sheath will be on there. Leather sheath, again, Condor up here on it. You can see that Condor up here. Got their insignia right here on the collar, and you've got some cordage back here attaching it. And I've actually tied this up because they include quite a bit of cordage on there. If I remember correctly, this is a hickory handle that's on it. Really nice grain pattern. Runs parallel to the head, so that's excellent. Really nice, seriously, really nice grain orientation straight out of the box. Just one snap and your mask slides off, and here's your head It does have a wedge on top, ring wedge on top for securing the head. It's got these cutouts right here on it to give you kind of a wedge shape right there. But I've also brought this out once before and used it. Very happy with it. Really great. It's a perfect size, like I think 24 inches overall. Perfect size for a pack axe. And it's not super heavy, so you're not weighing your pack down a whole lot. But it's a really nice size for a pack axe, but it's got enough up top where you can handle some good sized firewood and camp chores. So those are just two items from Condor that I've been interested in for a while, and wanted to go ahead and show that because these are going to be, the Undertaker Bowie and this especially are going to pretty much be my primary bushcraft setup for a while. So my camping trips and anything I'm doing over the next few months, these are going to be my go-to pieces. I do have an axe planned for the future that is a custom axe. I'll show you guys as soon as I decide to do that, but in the meantime I really want to use this as my pack axe for a good while. Other than that, I'll show you. I've seen a few different bushcrafters on YouTube use this, and it's a buck saw that I have been interested in for quite a while. The nice thing about it is it all folds down. The company is, forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but I believe it's a Agawa Canyon, and this is their Boreal 21, and it is a folding saw. Everything just fits in together. So when you set it up, you bring this around here, this folds up, and then you put this notch into the bottom of the handle, and I'll try to show you without cutting myself here. Then you're going to bring this in. It just does take quite a bit of pressure, and then that snaps into place. So once you have it assembled, it looks like this. Now your blade's exposed, but the nice thing about it is when you're stored, the blade faces into this metal right here, and you don't have any contact or any saw blade exposed when you're out or when you put it in your pack. But then when you unfold it, you've got great clearance here for being able to cut some good sized firewood. You're not going to run down on it and run into this too quickly. Really tight fit, blades in there super secure. You have these little metal locks right here and right here, and they actually include extra of those in the package when you buy this. So you'll get replacements for those if anything ever happens, and those are actually what you use to take the blade off. So if you can buy any, from what I read online, you can buy any 21-inch buck saw blade in this style and replace it. So you pop these two pins out, though these little tabs flip up, let you take out the tab, replace your blade, and then you just retighten them to get everything back in installed and ready to cut. But I've had my eye on this for a while. This is an awesome compact design for a buck saw, and the YouTubers I've watched, Joe Robinette and a couple others, use this a lot, and I've had my eye on it because it just looks, from what I've seen of them using it, it looks like a workhorse. I've seen them go through, and we're gonna use this today to go through some stuff, and I'll show you how quickly it can cut through. But that's the main pieces as far as like bushcraft and camping gear. I do have one other piece I brought with me. This is Cold Steel. This is their Warhawk. I've had their Trench Hawk for a while. It's a Tomahawk, but you can also use it. I took this on a trip my wife and I took a few months ago to cut up some firewood where we were staying, and this worked great. It's got the spike in the back, so you definitely have to be careful when you're using it if you are cutting up firewood, to keep that spike from hitting you. It's not really its purpose for what it was built for, to be a firewood processing tool. This is more of a survival even combat style weapon. And one reason I carry it with me is a good self-defense tool. With the area that I live in, where I'm going to be getting out in the woods, there are possibilities of running into feral hogs and things like that. And this is a good self-defense tool in case you had an animal attack or something like that. So those are the new pieces. That's what I brought out here with me today to kind of put to use. One of the reasons I wanted to get up here was to bring this stuff out, kind of put it through some practice and see how it holds up. The Undertaker Bowie and the axe I have brought up here before and used, so I do have a feel for how they handle. So I'm gonna get some firewood together and I'll be right back, and we'll start putting some of this stuff to the test. Okay, so I've got some decent sized limbs and branches and stuff back here. There's actually really good amount of deadfall out here on the ground. And I have some firewood from the last time I was back here. I forgot about that, but I've got that behind me here, and that's already pretty well processed up. So I got some stuff off the ground over here in the woods that I can use for it. But the great thing about this one, just super quick, really very easy. I mean, there's not much resistance at all, and you see how, you know, it's a good sized diameter piece of firewood, goes through it no problem. Just kind of hanging off my leg here, let the end hang over so I'm not pinching the blade. Again, a very nice cut. If you're doing shelter building or something like that, making a fire reflector for your fire pit, I would definitely suggest something like this, because you can do great controlled cuts on it. If you've seen some of my past stuff, I've been using the Silky Big Boy saw, which I love. That's been my go-to saw before this, and both of these cut, just that one and this one both cut amazingly. So very happy with this. I didn't expect to be disappointed by it from what I've seen of other bushcrafters and YouTubers using it. It's just a great tool for sectioning up firewood or shelter building materials. So very happy with this. I'm going to be taking this on a lot of my future camping trips and stuff like that. So I'm going to switch over to the axe now. Got a good bite on it, good cut right off. It does kind of, on this piece at least, gets in pretty good deep cut. Again, pretty good size basic firewood. Size of limbs will be cutting up. You can also do, like, if you're trying to make pegs or anything like that, if you're wanting to make kind of a spear shape or a point, you've got a good, really good amount where you can choke up on it, so you can use it one-handed. It's not too heavy to use one-handed. But you could definitely do some tent pegs or larger peg style spikes like this if you want to do like a shelter build, or you want to make a frame for your fire reflector for your fire pit. So a lot of great uses for this axe. Again, it comes with the overstrike collar on there, so you got some protection, and it's a good hickory handle. There you go. So again, I've been really impressed with the way Condor, both the axe and the knife, have held up. Again, like I said, I tied this up to a little bit of a knot here because I had a lot of extra string hanging down here kind of in the way of my hands. And when you're swinging, you don't want stuff taking your attention off what you're doing or getting in the way. So I just tied that up out of the way. And then, like I said, I'm going to be bringing this Condor Bowie with me as my camp knife. I like a large camp knife, you know, especially if it's the only thing you have, something that can do chopping well and do a lot of big camp chores is what I'm mostly interested in. So if you like smaller bushcraft or camp knives, totally get that. Just for my preference, I like the larger Bowie style or larger just fixed blade knives for camp tasks. So for this, like I said, it's definitely got the weight and the blade to be a chopper. You know, it makes very quick work of, you know, your firewood size. So it goes through very easily, very quickly. And if you're wanting to do like more fine feather sticking, which I had some more rolls made up. I accidentally cut off trying to get some of that bark out of the way, but you can do feather sticking. You can make, and this is not the best piece of wood for this. This is not a great piece for feather sticking. This is I believe just a hackberry limb, but you can still get some good fire starting material off of there. So this knife has a lot of different uses. Like I said, chopper is definitely one of my favorite parts about it, but you can get shavings and feather stick material very easily with it. So I've been very impressed with this blade. I continue to enjoy the way it performs. It is got a good thick spine on it. You can strike a fire steel on it. Like I said, full tang, brass pins on the, I believe it, if I remember correctly, it's been on a little while since I looked at the description. But I believe these are walnut for the handles. And it is a carbon steel blade. I believe 1075 on this one. Just an all-around great outdoor knife. You could do, you know, if you had to only pick one tool to take with you, you are doing a camping or bushcraft trip, you know, this could pretty much do everything as far as processing your firewood, getting your fire starter, and that kind of stuff. Obviously an axe and a saw is going to make shelter building and stuff like that easier, but in a pinch you could use this for a lot. So I've really been pleased with this one as well. Condor seems to have a great reputation as far as their builds and their equipment. Jeff Flowers is who designs a lot of their stuff. This is a design by him, so I really like his designs and his knives and outdoor tools that he comes up with. And then lastly, one thing I didn't mention earlier, this is a bit heavier in the hand than the Undertaker by Condor. This Ontario knife, the Raider Bowie, it's a heavier knife and you can feel it. It's got the powder coating on the blade to protect your blade from rust and corrosion, anything like that. But like I said, you can feel more weight on this one. It's not a whole lot more, but you can definitely notice a weight difference. Again, no problem with larger pieces of firewood. No rolls on the blade, no nicks, no chips, nothing like that. As far as I mean, you can make some real fine feather sticking with this one. So, really impressed by both of these blades, which, you know, I try to research and look into companies and knives for sure before I spend money on them. You know, I don't like wasting my money. I know you guys don't either, so that's why I kind of come out here and show some of these off, is knives that I find that I'm impressed with, that are a good price. You know, you're not spending $500 on a knife, but you're still getting good quality. So both of these so far, the Undertaker and this one, have been extremely good blades for the money. Like I said, around 55 for this one, and around 89 for the Undertaker. So I'm gonna get some of this gathered up, and I'm gonna get a little fire going. All right, guys. Oh, this one took a lot to get going. I have done feather sticks. I've had a couple things flare up and then just out. This one was a real battle to get started. What I finally ended up doing was, there's a dead standing tree over here with some very papery bark. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a dead standing, has a very papery bark, and I was able to scrape it, tear up the fibers, and eventually got enough, a couple little wads of the fibers in there, and it's going a little bit. I don't know if some of this stuff feels wet, so I don't know. We've had some rain, not yesterday but the day before, so I don't know if stuff's still just a little too damp. What I'm using, I used the Undertaker Bowie to scrape off the bark. I was also using the Undertaker Bowie to do the feather sticks. I'm using this Uberleben 1/2 inch by 6 inch fire steel, best one I've ever owned. It's got the leather lanyard and striker. It's hexagonal, so you've got a lot of long, straight surfaces, not round. But a little bit of a fire going. I don't have a whole lot longer left out here before I'm going to be heading home to my wife, but I did want to keep at it till at least got a little something going here, and I seem to have finally a little bit of a fire going. But like I said, this was several attempts to get this started, but I finally got it going. Like I said, the bark off that tree is what ended up being dry enough. It's up off the ground, and it ended up being dry enough. I did several feather sticks, and they would catch after several strikes, and then they would burn up, and I couldn't get anything to light off of it. It just wouldn't last long enough. So one thing I do think about the Undertaker Bowie is that it could definitely use some touching up on the blade. I think you could use being a little bit sharper for the feather sticking. I did notice I kept running into it catching. So that's just one notice there. I mean, that's with a lot of knives. A lot of knives straight out of the box need touching up. Some of them give a great factory edge, but a lot of them put an edge on it and then ship it. So that's one thing. One note on that one is maybe touch up the edge before you take it out. Got a lot of wind today too, so that's its own little challenge there. I've got some real good peeling up bark on this from last time I was out here. So overall, yes, still very impressed with the tools, but that's just one note on that Undertaker Bowie is you might want to touch up the edge on it. Just depending on how yours comes out of the box. That's one thing I'm noticing with mine is it could use being a hair sharper. But a great knife. I mean, it's a beast of a knife. It's a workhorse. Nothing fragile about it. You don't have to worry about beating it up. It is definitely made for camp chores and for this kind of work. So really enjoy the knife. That's just one notice I was gonna mention that I ran across in the process of building this, is probably running across the leather strop or a ceramic rod or something like that. Let me know down in the comment section if y'all would like me to do a video at home of this pack. Today I'm not gonna take all the stuff I've got in there out. But if you'd like me to do an at-home video where I can kind of lay stuff out and show you what's in the pack, let me know down in the comments. Again, I really appreciate you guys watching. I'm gonna spend just a little bit more time out here. I'm not gonna do much more of a fire than this. It's kind of getting late into the afternoon, and I've got about an hour drive home. I told my wife I'd be home in just a little while, so check in on her and the baby. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know how frequent videos are going to be. I do have access to this land, and like I said, I do have a good bit of time off of work right now due to what's going on. So hope you guys are all well and taking care of your health and your families and everything. And thank you so much for watching this. And until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you then.